Hello everyone, it is a 3D back with a review. This is the Pr1me Arte deck from Pr1me Poker Cards in Italy. Seems like almost every year they come out with a new deck. You know, they do have a couple of standard versions similar to, I guess, their version of a Rider back, which are pretty nice and they handle pretty good. There was the Pr1me Sketch deck. Last year there was the Pr1me Noir, and now there's the Pr1me Arte. And it says Pr1me. On the very top here it says Megra, right up there in that ribbon, which I think is the artist's name. And there's a ribbon that says Art, spelled A-R-T-E, and you see some paint brushes, and it says limited edition on the bottom on another ribbon. On the one side it says official Pr1me Poker Cards designed by Massimo Grammacioni and Alex Perucci. And then Pr1me Poker Cards is a brand of EBS, Pr1mePokerCards.com. On the other side, that's where you can get them, at least the standard ones, and probably this version. Top says limited edition. Oh, I will tell you later where you can get these with a discount. And the bottom says visit Pr1me.et, Pr1me spelled with the number 1, as you can see, Pr1mePokerCards.com, etc., etc. From Italy. The back, you see the back design, which is Da Vinci inspired, I think it is. We'll find out in a minute. Pretty cool. And it's got a nice custom seal that's a circle, much like their previous decks. And it's got paintbrushes. And it says Art, just like what we saw in the front of the box. I think that, you know, circle seal is pretty cool. It's their seal. It's different. It's unique. It's unique to them. And I like that. The flap says Art. And in here you got a couple of images of a guy and a girl who are actually, I guess, the ones on the back design. I'll get to the cards. First of all, there is a card that tells you who every court card and ace is by, and also the jokers. And then we get this blank card. It's just a blank card, it's like a blank canvas. And it says on there that equals you. The idea is to draw on this card and send us the photo on our Facebook page, which is at Pr1me Playing Cards. Right there it says. So I think that's pretty interesting, but I'm not going to do that. The jokers, here we go, are by Megra, Massimo Grammacioni. That's who Megra is. That's one of the creators of the deck. And it's the first one is black and white, and it's a girl. Looks like she's drawing herself in. She's not complete yet. It says Joker in the 2 corners. And then this one, Joker in red, and she's coloring herself in. Again, she's not complete. Nice cleavage. I don't mind that. I like it. So then you get the Ace of Spades. It says Pr1me Cards on the bottom. Interesting spade pip. And it is by Manet, how you pronounce that. The Ace of Hearts is by Caravaggio, an Italian artist. Most of the artists seem to be Italian. The Ace of Clubs is by Klimt. That's, you know, who the artists are that are being represented or inspired by, I guess. And the Ace of Diamonds is by Dali, Salvador Dali, to be exact. Now let's look at some of the court cards. This is honestly Van Gogh. For the King of Spades. Queen of Spades is Gauguin. Hope I pronounced that correctly. And the Jack of Spades is Muntz. King of Hearts is Raffaello. As you can see, they all have different pips within them, but standard indexes. That's pretty interesting. This one is by Botticelli, and Jack is by Michelangelo. Pretty cool. King of Clubs is by Tiffany. Queen of Clubs is by Muka, and Jack of Clubs is by De Lempica. And finally, the Diamonds. King of Diamonds is by Kandinsky. This one's kind of interesting. It's got a couple of X's instead of a diamond. Pip, I guess it kind of makes a diamond to some extent. Queen of Diamonds is Picasso, of course, and Jack of Diamonds is a headless guy, I guess, by Magritte. And then the number cards are all basically standard. So it's pretty interesting artwork. I like it. Interestingly enough, there's, seems to be a couple of decks lately that have artist type themes. There's also the Van Gogh deck on Kickstarter from Collectible Playing Cards right now, called Vincent's Royals. Oh, that was interesting. This card just landed on the tripod leg. That was pretty cool. Bizarre, but cool. And also there was a Leonardo deck on Kickstarter recently. Actually, there's a couple of decks. And then there's this one. So it's pretty interesting. The back design. Oops, I don't think I showed it to you in full detail yet. So I'll do that. The back design is, it doesn't say, but I believe it's by Leonardo da Vinci, if I recall correctly. It's pretty cool. A little bit thick on the borders, but not bad. Particularly on the top and bottom, for some reason. It's got a nice stock on this deck. As you can see, it shuffles very nicely. But that's about as good as the deck gets. It shuffles nicely. It does not, however, fan so nicely. As you can see, it does have some clumping issues, which is unfortunate. But it is about the same as the Pr1me Noir deck. By the way, I do have a Pr1me Noir deck available if anyone is interested. I wish they would go back to whatever stock and finishes they used for the original Pr1me decks and also the Pr1me Sketch deck. The Pr1me Sketch deck in particular was very similar to a bicycle deck and handled very nicely. The original Pr1me decks also handled quite nicely and had a nice thin stock, but this one in the Noir deck that they did last year, not so good handling wise. So overall, as far as the art is concerned, I think it's pretty good. The borders could have been thinner on the back. But aside from that, art wise, I'll say 4 out of 5. As far as usability, it's pretty good. Some of the court cards are a little bit odd, and they have all sorts of different types of pips within them, as you can see. Apologize if the lighting isn't the best. Maybe it's just my angle. So yeah, it's maybe not the most usable, but it's fairly standard. So somewhat usable. So I'll say 3 3/4 out of 5 for usability. As far as handling, that's where it gets hurt. It shuffles nicely, and whoops, it actually spreads pretty nicely. It just does not fan very nicely. And I have been playing around with it a bit, and I just can't get it to get better. Just like the deck I got last year, like I was mentioning before. So I'm going to say, for handling wise, 3 out of 5. It's just not very good at all, and that's being quite fair. Overall, I'm going to give this deck and I should mention that it does have a embossed linen type finish, and it's a pretty nice stock, pretty thick, pretty good, but the finish just does not work very good with the stock, I guess. Anyways, overall, I'll say 3.5 out of 5, just because it doesn't handle very well. It looks pretty good, but that's about as far as it goes. That is that. You can get this at collectibleplayingcards.com right now. Use the code VJSA42 and you get 10% off your order, so go check it out. It might not handle the best, but it's a nice collector's item, I think. And I'll see you next time.